The Cleveland Guardians had their 6-game win streak snapped yesterday, but the reason they have been on such a roll has been the starting pitching. Look at that, an ERA of 1 in their last 7 games, and get this, they've allowed a total of just 29 base runners in those 7 games. Today, a chance to take 2 out of 3 from the Toronto Blue Jays and wind up this road trip here north of the border. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Andre Knott will join us shortly. Rick, it's tough to pitch any better than the way the starters have been throwing the ball lately. And what an electrifying matchup we have here today. The roof is open. It's going to be awesome. You've got Shane Bieber. He's given up 3 runs in his last 3 starts, and Kevin Gausman has not allowed a run in his last 2 outings.
Yeah, what a matchup to leave and come home on. But Shane Bieber has been locked in, as well as the whole pitching staff. They're feeding off each other. He's won his last 3 ball games. In Detroit, he only gave up 4 hits in his 7 innings with 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. He has been locked in with that slider. His breaking pitches have been sensational. So I look for him to go right out there and keep it up. But he's matched up against a tough customer, Kevin Gausman, who is only about 1 of 5 guys in the league now that throws that splitter. He has 88 strikeouts out of his 137 on that split. He doesn't walk anybody. He's 1-0 this year. He won a game earlier in Cleveland in the first game of a doubleheader.
Big swing game here this afternoon. Blue Jays had lost 5 out of 6 before they eked out a 2-1 win over Cleveland yesterday afternoon. We'll be back with today's first pitch, and we'll check in with Andre Knott coming up next. Cleveland lost here in Toronto. He's made 2 previous starts at the Rogers Center. And the last time he pitched here on July 24th, 2019, he went the distance. A 1-hit shutout performance. He walked 1 and struck out 10. Now the last time out against Detroit, he was pretty dominant. 7 innings of 4-hit shutout baseball. But it's tough to top his last outing here in Toronto.
Yeah, for whatever reason, he's pitched very well here. We'd love to see another one of those today, wouldn't we?
With more on Bieber, let's go downstairs to Andre Knott.
Arch has been fired up about this one since he woke up yesterday. We get 2 of the best pitchers in the American League. And as you guys talk about Shane Bieber and what he's done here previously, that 9 innings, 1-hit outing, his last outing where he had maybe his best of the season, 7 innings and 8 strikeouts and no runs to the Tigers. Some would say he can settle into where he's at. But to Shane, he's a perfectionist and he hasn't gotten to perfect just yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all would say that. I think, that's one thing about pitching and maybe baseball in general is it's never enough. Like you can go, my last outing, you can go 7 scoreless, and there's 2 more innings right there to cover. So there's always more, and you're always reaching for more and trying to get better. So I'll leave it at that.
So he will push to try to go 9, but that's not what Tito's asking for. They're just asking for what we've seen the first 2 nights. That doesn't seem too hard, right? Just go deep in the game and don't allow many runs to one of the best offenses in the American League. But honestly, Arch, got to pitch to both sides with the fastball is the main thing I think they've learned the first 2 nights here in Toronto.
They've been very, very good here. And, this is one of the best offenses in the league without a doubt, and hopefully that will continue. But he's matched up against a tough customer as well. So our offense is going to have to score, and hopefully they can do it early. Kevin Gausman will be the starter for Toronto today. And he was the American League Player of the Week for August 1st through the 7th. He was 1-0 with 14 scoreless innings in his last 2 appearances. One at Minnesota. They didn't score for him, so he had a no decision. The other one at Tampa Bay, he got the win. He went 8 innings and gave up 1 hit. Nasty slider here. He beat the Guardians back in Cleveland on May 7th in game 1 of a doubleheader. He went 6 1/3, 6 hits, 1 run allowed, 5 strikeouts, and he does not walk people. This is his 2nd start. He only has 20 walks on the year.
Let's take a look at Terry Francona's starting lineup, presented by Progressive. Stephen Kwan back in the leadoff spot. Ahmed Rosario in the 2-hole. And Jose Ramirez will DH, batting 3rd. Josh Naylor hits cleanup, followed by Oscar Gonzalez. Owen Miller will hit 6th. Tyler Freeman gets the start at 3rd base. He'll bat 7th. Austin Hedges, the catcher, batting 8th. And Miles Straw will hit 9th.
Defensively for Toronto, brought to you by Rally House. It'll look like this. Gurriel will be in left field. Tapia gets the start in center. Biggio over and right. On the infield, Chapman is at 3rd base. Espinal is making the start at short. Merrifield at 2nd. Guerrero is at first and Kirk doing the catching.
John Lipka will call the balls and strikes. Mike McClinsky is at first base. Charlie Ramos at second. And the crew chief, Jim Reynolds, is down at third. The lid is open. Lots of sunshine. A beautiful day to wrap up this 3-game weekend series between two of the best teams in the American League going. Cleveland comes in 60-53, while the Blue Jays are 62-51. Toronto 10 games back of the Yankees in the AL East, but they are the top wild card team, up 2 games in the wild card standings. Cleveland, meanwhile, a 1.5 lead over Minnesota in the American League Central Division standings. And with that, we're ready to go. Kevin Gausman's first pitch, a fastball, sails high. And we're underway.
Gausman, one of those guys, if you see it low, you may want to let it go with that splitter that he's throwing.
Game time temperature 75 degrees. And it's 2-0 for Stephen Kwan. That found the mark. Fastball in there. 2-1. The Guardians come in 4th in the American League in team batting average, hitting .251 as a ball club. And that fastball misses outside, and it's 3-1.
Kwan walked to lead off the game yesterday. Ended up coming around to score the only run that the Guardians put on the board.
Fastball inside corner, and he fouls it back. Full count. Blue Jays starting pitchers have a collective earned run average of .405, but Gausman clearly at the top of the class with a .291 ERA. Just 8 wins, though, against 8 losses. You would think, as well as he has pitched with this offense, that he would be on top of the 500.
It is hard to figure out.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Well, he gets back. He comes back after being behind, and it looks like a little two-seam fastball there. This is a tough pitch. It was a strike. It was right at the knees. When he can keep that fastball right there and then throws that splitter when he can get to 2 strikes, that's why he is so tough.
Storylines brought to you by Wayside Furniture. You have to make those split decisions against that splitter that Gausman throws. Swung on and belted to deep center field. Back is Tapia. He's out of room. It's out of here. And the Guardians will play from in front once again. Ahmed Rosario with his 8th home run of the season. And Rick, he absolutely smoked that ball to the big part of the yard.
Well, I'm telling you, that's only the 7th home run given up by Gausman. Normally a ground ball machine, but he took advantage of him on that first pitch. He wasn't going to spot him anything. This one is elevated a little bit, but boy, did he get the barrel of the bat out front and carried it to straightaway center. So you're right, that's awfully nice, getting one on the board early against this guy.
Nice grab. Here's Jose Ramirez. Jose hitless yesterday, was 3 for 3 in the series opener with a home run and 4 runs batted in. Four-man outfield against Ramirez as Gausman delivers a strike to even the count at 1-1. It's nice to have a guy like Whit Merrifield when they go to the 4 outfielders, because he's played plenty of outfield.
Yeah.
He's over there and right near the line. Everybody else just shifts over to the left. And it's 2-1. That leaves them with just the 3 infielders, 2 on the right side. Back out of play. And it's 2-2. To my knowledge or recollection, Ramirez is the only hitter I've seen Toronto do this against us with, just Ramirez.
Oh, that's it. They did earlier in the year, and we were in shock, and they continue to do it here.
Amazing thing Friday night, Arch, they had it. He got 3 hits all around it.
He sure did. In front of him.
And over him.
3-2, full count.
It's funny, walking over here, Matt, we both thought Rosario may get the day off because we felt like the last couple of days, and Tito felt the same way, but he said he stuck with him because he didn't want to come out of the lineup. And look what he does first swing of the day.
Boy, isn't that something.
The payoff pitch. Struck him out. Upstairs, he chased one. Out of the zone. Second K for Gausman.
Well, that's rare for Jose because this is a guy you're looking down in the zone. So to go upstairs and chase it out of the zone, it's a rarity. Unless he just changed the eye level, and Jose hasn't been walking much lately. He usually gets to 3-2. He wants to put it in play.
If you like round numbers, that's career strikeout number 1,300 for Kevin Gausman. Josh Naylor got after a fastball and fouled it back.
I think that's a good idea. If you get that fastball early, get after it, because this guy, as I mentioned, he doesn't walk anybody. He came in pitching against the Guardians the first time, had 5 starts, didn't walk anybody. And I mean, it was about the 3rd or 4th inning. He faced 136 consecutive batters before the first walk of the year.
There's that split, and it just dives out of the strike zone. 0-2. He gets that fastball at the 98 miles an hour, and then that split at 87. That's why he is so tough. And that's why, like Rosario, if you get that fastball, you hope you square it up.
Absolutely. Don't foul it off. Hit it hard somewhere. He certainly did.
Now the 0-2.
There's that split right there. And that's the tough thing, is hitters, they don't pick up that spin on that pitch because it breaks late. And you know, there's only about 5 guys in the league now that throw the splitter. I mean, legitimately, where it's considered a true splitter.
Why do you think that is?
Maybe for elbow issues, I think.
Came back with it again, 2-2.
And I would ask you on the strikeout with Jose, do you think that's what he was looking for, and that's why he swung at a high pitch?
Well, if you're looking for that splitter there, you're going to look down.
Low,
so
right.
I wouldn't think he would chase that there. Unless he just thought it was a fastball up top and it was out of the zone.
The 2-2. That's hammered into center field, and Josh Naylor got on that 98-mile-an-hour fastball and did not miss it.
You see, he tries to that's changing the eye level. He did it right there to Naylor, except Naylor was able to get on top of that fastball. I don't know if Hosey's, that was out of the zone. That could have been ball 4, but Josh got on top. That's something that he can do and Hosey can do, but he didn't do it on his turn, but Naylor did. He got the base hit. Really good at bat.
Andre, to maybe answer your question, David Cone, the great pitcher, formerly with the Toronto Blue Jays, he told me once that the wider the split grip, the more pressure it puts on the elbow when you throw it with a lot of force. And he felt like it caused guys, not everybody, but some guys caused him elbow problems. And he felt like the changeup is a pitch that does not bother the elbow. And more guys went away from the split and to the changeup for that very reason.
Gotcha.
Now, if you got long fingers, it may be a little easier where you don't have to spread them as far, but if you got a smaller hand and you got to jam it in there, it makes it a little tougher and probably does put a little more pressure on it.
Was it the San Francisco Giants that were big on the
Roger Craig?
Roger Craig
yes,
was the pitching coach there. He managed Detroit. He was in San Diego. He pretty much revolutionized the pitch. But a lot of guys that pitched on those teams ended up having elbow issues.
Now the 0-1. Oscar fouls that fastball back. 0-2 the count. popped him up on the infield. Merrifield puts it away, and the inning is over. But Amed Rosario has the Guardians on top early with his 8th home run of the season. 1-0 Cleveland. The Blue Jays are coming to bat.
Today brought to you by your Northeast Ohio Ford dealer. Shane's been on a roll, winning his last 3 starts. And on the road, Cleveland has won 8 of Shane's last 10 road starts. So off to a good start. He has one early.
John Schneider starting lineup for the Toronto Blue Jays, presented by Progressive. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. leads it off. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in the 2-hole. Alejandro Kirk bats third. Teoscar Hernandez, Matt Chapman, and Raimel Tapia in the middle, followed by Whit Merrifield, Santiago Espinal, and Kevin Biggio batting ninth. Fastball. Call the ball. And a base hit into right field. That snaps an 0 for 11 for Gurriel.
Well, that's a pretty nice approach from Bieber. You look away, you take him that way, and he gets the base hit. So they'll get the game started right for them. Let's check out the defense for the Guardians, brought to you by Rally House. In the outfield, Quan in left, Straw in center, Gonzalez over in right. And it'll be Freeman at third, Rosario at short, Miller at second, Naylor at first, and Hedges doing the catching.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. swings at a slider for strike one. He has a 22-game hitting streak. During that streak, 10 doubles, 3 homers, and a dozen driven in.
Toronto, a team that has hit into the most double plays in the league. They have hit into 93 this year. Bieber has been able to get 11 of those.
It's a double.
The 1-1. Right field, shallow, long run for Gonzalez. He's there and makes the catch for out number 1. Cleveland scored first yesterday, and they lost for only the 17th time this year. They're 47-17 when they score first. Toronto was able to come back and win 2-1, and that's only their 18th win on the year. They're 18-33 when their opponent scores first.
Yeah, that's a tough way to go. 2-1 ball game. Was a good game all the way around.
Alejandro Kirk has been one of the best hitters in the American League this year. Came in hitting .300, but over his last 11 games, just 6 for 35. You're at that point of the year where a lot of players who play every day are starting to feel a little bit of the dog days creeping in. Boy, a jump by Gurriel, and then Bieber was able to step off because Naylor was alerting him to the fact that, look out, he's taking off.
Yeah, he held it long enough to realize it. He didn't see him, but he heard something. He knew it.
There was yelling.
You
down
see,
there, yeah.
and you see where Hedges was pointing, first base.
Matt, I was going to say the same thing with Kirk. Being a catcher, we've always heard, you get to August, a little bit different for catchers usually with their legs and everything else that they go through, and we see how they get beat up constantly.
Yeah, that's the dog days for everybody.
Yeah,
it really is. You get into the hot, steamy summer days. But everybody goes through it.
True.
Kirk is still 10th in the American League with that .300 batting average. Luis Arraez of Minnesota leading the way at .337. Andres Gimenez is second and he's 30 points
That's
behind
amazing.
Arraez.
I think Arraez had 3 hits last night, too. I think he was 3 for 3 the last time I checked.
0-2, right field, fair. Off the sidewall, that'll help Gonzalez keep Gurriel from scoring. He goes to second base with the throw. Blue Jays at the corners.
Well, it's a good thing it hit the wall down there before it shoots down into the corner. It very easily could have been a double and a run. But it's a high breaking ball, high slider. It stays fair. Gonzalez played it well off the wall. You still have the double play in order. It's first and third. But they get their second hit of the inning. That was a mistake. That was upstairs. That's not where he wanted his slider.
And now Teoscar Hernandez. He's DHing today. His home run yesterday was the difference in the ballgame. Makes a breaking ball for a strike. That home run yesterday by Hernandez snapped an 0 for 8.
Yeah, the home run he hit yesterday on an 0-2 pitch to straightaway center.
That's hit deep to right field. That's trouble. That'll one-hop the wall. Blue Jays tie it. Here's the throw to second base. It's a little offline, and he beats it in there for an RBI double.
Will be a double. They're not going to challenge it. The throw was just a little wide of the bag, or they might have had him. Gonzalez played it well. It's just that he had to make that one hop throw. You'll see it come in, and Rosario had to go back to try and tag him. And he probably got to the bag right before he could. See, I'm telling you, 2 feet, 3 feet to the left more for Rosario, they would have had him. But it's a double. It's a tie game, and they have second and third and just 1 out.
Matt Chapman, the batter. Infield partway in, and he takes a breaking ball for a strike. Oscar Gonzalez has been busy. All 4 balls put in play have gone to right field to start this game.
We talked about
start pitching inside.
I was about to say, we talked about it yesterday, how much work Nolan Jones got in right field. They will drive the ball the other way.
Waved at it, 0-2.
Yeah, and the first night Gonzalez was out there, had 4 consecutive balls to right field. You stay away. The right-handers in his lineup will shoot you that way.
Two singles and a double for Toronto. Just over almost 36% of their hits have gone for extra bases this year. That's the 6th best extra base hitting percentage in the league. Swing and a miss. He struck him out for out number 2.
He needed that.
Boy, did he ever.
Yes, sir. He kept staying away, staying away. There's a nice pitch to going straight down.
And he made sure these breaking balls got out of the strike zone.
Yeah, absolutely. And they were down.
The first of 2 left-handed bats in the lineup. Raimel Tapia, the other Kevin Biggio, the 9th place hitter. Hot smash to first. What a diving stop by Josh Naylor.
Nice play.
And that gets Bieber out of trouble here in the first. A run on 3 hits, 2 stranded. We're tied at 1 after 1 in Toronto. Google Cloud, Kevin Gausman has thrown 88 splitters, not all of them at once.
Well, his hands are big enough, maybe. Look at that, though. The bulk of them all down in the zone. But that's his out pitch for sure. Swing and miss.
Owen Miller will lead off the second inning. 1-1 ball game. Fastball just misses low. Drilled to deep left field. That will get down. It'll. Where did it go? It short hopped the wall.
Underneath the wall.
It's stuck at the bottom of the wall, and that'll be a double.
The second day in a row we've seen a ball stick in the padding.
I was looking for the carrot. Like, what happened to it?
That's what it had to be. Only here. This one stuck at the base of the wall, right underneath the dirt. Yesterday we had one stick right next to the dugout.
What are the odds of this?
This is our fault.
Bam.
We look at that.
Look at
This is our fault that we didn't walk the outfield this weekend, Arch.
Yeah, well, we
should've
didn't
known.
realize it. It doesn't look like there's enough room there
I know.
for anything to stick. That
Usually-
had to hit perfectly.
Usually a left fielder will raise his hand to let you know it's stuck under there as well.
Well, here's Tyler Freeman. The rookie has a hit in each of his last 2 games. At AAA Columbus, he hit .279 with 6 homers, 7 doubles, and 44 knocked in this year.
Arch, this is the role of the youngest player on the team, right? You get to see the toughest pitcher of the road trip.
Yeah.
Sent in the air, shallow center. The second baseman Merrifield takes care of that one away.
Well, enjoy the show wherever you are with the MLB app, with coverage of in-game highlights, pitch-by-pitch features, select live broadcast coverage, and more. You don't want to miss a beat. Download the MLB app today.
Catcher Austin Hedges. He swings at the first pitch, trying to bloop it in. It will drop.
Okay. Go.
And it gets by Tapia. Miller around third. He'll be waved home. Gurriel's throw is not in time. Then the Guardians go back on top 2-1 on a bizarre play. Merrifield deked Miller into thinking he was going to catch it, but then the ball fell in front of him and bounded over Tapia's head.
That's really something that Miller has to read on his own, knowing where the fielders, the infielders are. He had a good read on it right from the get-go. He just didn't continue. But Tapia had to look at him, and he overran that ball, and it bounced over his head on the turf. So that's a turf hit. It would have fell for a single, but that allowed him to score. So they come right back and take the lead.
And Tapia, not a normal center fielder, Arch. He's played left field most of his career. These guys are going up swinging early.
I don't blame him.
Hey, I'm telling you, that's the approach.
Yeah.
Tapia started the game yesterday in center.
He did, but he's been a left fielder in Colorado and here most of the season until Springer was hurt. That's why Whit Merrifield was playing a little bit. That's why they went out and got Zimmer. That's why they went out and got Bradley.
Well, this will be his last game because Springer's coming back tomorrow.
Yes. So, yes, he's played it, but not a ton.
Yeah. Well, it
Miles
goes to
Straw
show
fouls
you,
one back.
you let that ball bounce on the turf. That's where you have to make a decision in the outfield. If it goes in, you got to play a little farther back. But I think Miller sort of deked him because he thought he might have had a double play.
Okay.
0-2 count, and it's low. And hey, that was a really alert play by Biggio. I think I said Gurriel, but Biggio over in right field, he darted over. You know, you might give up on that thinking, oh, that's an easy play for the center fielder, but
Right.
if he doesn't get over, then who knows where Hedges ends up on that play.
That's
Second.
true.
But you're right.
At least.
At most.
But you're right.
But you know what? There's always something to do as a fielder. We talk about it. You should never stand there, stand still. You always got to help and back up and do little things because of things just like that. If you don't do that and you're caught standing in that position, you look terrible.
fouled back. You know, it is worth noting our buddy Buck Martinez, longtime broadcaster for the Blue Jays, came over, was visiting us before the game, and he said, boy, you know, you've got this great pitching matchup with Gausman and you've got Bieber, and he said it'll probably end up 9-8.
Well, it's
I don't know if that's going to happen, but boy,
it's starting off that way.
It sure is.
Between the both of them, there's 7 hits here. We're in the top of the side. Yeah,
both teams are swinging early.
The hitters have been well instructed as to their game plan.
Well, you can't let these two pitchers get ahead of you because they got, you know, wipeout pitches to take you out.
Well, let's not make it a one-run game, as we talked about yesterday. The Blue Jays, second best team in baseball at 23-17 in one-run games. Seattle has 27 one-run wins. Arch, that's a
they
lot.
Usually do. Those
They're
guys
bullpen.
always play well in one-run games.
Foul
Good
back.
at bat.
Well, he's fouling them off, making them work. Well, this could be one of those games because both these teams want it. It's for the series win. And, you know, Toronto's got Baltimore coming in tomorrow. The Guardians have a double dip. They want to get this one badly here.
You know what we're going to get with that double dip, Arch?
Now, what are we going to get?
I'll tell you after this.
Sprinkles?
Just low.
We're going to get another Major League debut tomorrow in the second
Our
game.
14th?
14th. Xavier Curry is going to come up and pitch the second game. It's coming off a 6-inning game down in Columbus where he had a no-hitter through 5.
Oh, yeah?
Tristan is best friends with him, but he's mad because Tristan had to find out from his girlfriend this morning, not from Xavier. So. The girlfriends talked.
The 3-2 bounced over the head of Gausman. Merrifield steps on the bag and is thrown to first, not in time.
Boy, it was close, one way or the other, but he's called safe. We're going to see if they want to try and challenge it after they get a look at their replay.
Really nice job by Merrifield. He got to the bag about the same time the ball got there.
He knew he was going to have to plant and throw quickly because Straw gets down the line and they are not going to challenge.
So on the fielder's choice, Straw is at first with 2 down and Stephen Kwan to the plate. Curious to see if Straw can get a jump and try to steal. With 2 outs here, he's 13 out of 14 on the year, but it's been a while since he's last attempted.
Boy, it seems like a month. It really does. He hasn't even tried one. Trying to get a time on Gausman here.
You want to talk about something that hasn't happened in a while?
What's
Stephen
that?
Kwan has struck out in back-to-back at-bats. It's the first time since July 13th versus the Chi Sox, where Giolito and Graveman got him. Don't see that very often.
No, you do not.
I told you guys before the game, he was frustrated about a couple of his at-bats last night. Felt like he may have swung at a ball out of the strike zone in his third to last at-bat. And then we saw the game ended with him striking out on a pitch that I don't think he thought was a strike, Arch.
No, that's true. He's got such a good eye at the plate, though. Sometimes that man in blue can dictate.
In the air, playable. Gurriel into foul territory. Retires the side. Well, the Guardians take advantage of a big turf hop here in inning number 2. And they regain the lead 2-1. Presented by your Northern Ohio GMC dealers tomorrow at 2:30. Doubleheader. Alan Jensen will get you ready as the Guardians play 2 against the Tigers. Fouled right back off the bat of Whit Merrifield as we open the bottom half of the second inning. And a high pop on the infield. Ahmed Rosario says, I'll take it. He does. 1-0. Our Northern Ohio Buick dealer stat: when Shane Bieber pitches after a Guardians loss, he's done that 48 times in his career with 24 wins and a .295 earned run average.
Boy, you like the numbers, but you like the numbers, but you see everything here. And this game is almost like a pitch, hit, and run. Because they're throwing it, they're swinging at it, and they are running.
Santiago Espinal Well, think about it like this, Rick. When you look at both Cleveland and Toronto, I mentioned that the Blue Jays, look, they're a really good hitting team. They have the best team batting average in the American League. But neither one of these teams strikes out a lot. There's a weak ground ball to short. Amed Rosario will throw out Espinal. Cleveland has the lowest strikeout rate in all of Major League Baseball. And the Blue Jays are 6th. So they're not far behind. 20% strikeout rate for the Blue Jays. They both walk less than 8% of the time.
Right.
So not a lot of walks. They get up there, they're swinging the bat. Blue Jays have more power top to bottom.
Yeah, 3rd in the league in homers with 145. Guardians run better.
Cavan Biggio. To the ball outside. Biggio 1 for 3 with a double in the series. Bieber evens the count of 1-1. And a ground
Good
ball.
inning.
Owen Miller throws him out. Blue Jays go 1-2-3. After 2, it's Cleveland 2 and Toronto 1.
Flipped a nice 4-seam fastball that he left up in the zone, hit it to straightaway center field to give him an early 1-0 lead. His 8th home run on the year, and only the 7th that Gausman has allowed.
Again, you don't think of Amed Rosario as a power hitter, but listen to this. All 8 of his home runs have come since June 15th. He's tied for the team lead since then with Josh Naylor. Jose Ramirez has hit 6 home runs since June 15th.
Yeah, he's just been putting up quality at bats, and not only home runs, doubles, singles, infield hits all over the place.
He has 4 home runs in the month of August, and nobody else on this club has more than 1. So, Andre, you're right. Maybe we were a little too quick to dismiss Amed for looking a little tired.
I was just about to say, maybe the dog days don't play with Amed. He's not with that. Arch, I've got a bunch of people, both of you, that are asking, what's the difference between a split finger and a fork ball? They said they don't understand that, and they wanted to know on the broadcast if you could explain that, please.
Well, it's pretty much the same. The fork ball, they used to jam it into their fingers like you hold a split, but it's almost like the ball sits on your hands. Yeah, old fork balls, there were screw balls, but then the fork ball was basically the same as a split.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard to explain it. You know, when you don't have a ball in your hand and you can show them.
I can get you a ball up there, Cameron.
The 1-2 and a foul back. The best description I ever received was Paul Shuey. He had a tremendous split.
Yes.
And for Shuey, you think about how you grip just a regular fastball, and you just widen your grip. Not a ton, but you're just widening it out. Whereas a forkball, you're jamming it between the 2 fingers. So it's more of a change of pace pitch.
Copy.
Whereas a true splitter is just a ball that goes straight down with good fastball velocity.
Yeah, the split will go with more velocity than the fork ball.
Yeah. Now Gausman's, I mean, at times he must vary his grip, because sometimes it comes in, it's 87 after a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Get off the plate.
I'll tell you, they put up some really good at-bats against him today already.
You see the split.
It's not stuffed in there. Yes, it just takes some of the.
There's another one, and you know, you get different movement. Sometimes it goes straight down,
depending on the pressure you put on what finger. It's absolutely a feel pitch. But you can see that thing when it's low, it just takes off, and it seems to right when it gets around to home plate, it decides to drop off the table.
Broken bat bouncing to short, scooped by Espinal, and Ahmed Rosario beats it out.
I mean, how is this guy? How quick is he? He was off on the run too because he was fooled on that pitch and he had to go out and get it. But so he had a good, you know, from the right side to get down there. You can see he was on the move. Espinal's only playing in his 4th game at short here. You know, he was a natural shortstop, but you know the footwork.
It's a tough play though.
It's a tough play, but look at how Rosario gets down the line, and he had a break because he was already a step out of the box.
All right, I know Gausman's throwing hard, but he does throw that split in the dirt, and I know you don't like running with Jose up there. You wait through his at bat before you try to move?
Well, I want to say he looked like he was a little slow to me.
Yes, he did last inning.
I mean, he was about.
There goes Rosario. Pitches up high.
Early.
The throw is high, and a stolen base for Ahmed, his 11th on the year.
I like it. If you're going to go early. That way you don't mess with his at bat now.
Now, we wondered last inning with 2 outs and Miles Straw at first base and Stephen Kwan at the plate if maybe Miles would take off. He had not attempted a stolen base since the 4th of July. And the only time he was caught this year was Kevin Gausman on the mound and Stephen Kwan at the plate. So I don't know if that was in the back of his mind. Why
that was in May. It's August.
Well, it was cold that day.
Yes, it was. Different temperature.
Back out of play.
Well, this is you got to take advantage of 90 feet when you're facing guys like this. And it didn't take Ahmed long. He got his 11th, so he's on the move. Him and Kwan tied at 11. Here they can't do it with a man on base. They have the 3 outfielders, but their second baseman Merrifield in short right field.
There's that split, and it just dives down toward the dirt.
See, he's got Jose thinking now because he got him the first time on that high fastball out of the zone, and that split there sets it up. He could go back up and do what he did the first time with him and keep it up and away.
Jose Ramirez, a .340 average on the year with runners in scoring position. And he has knocked in 29 runs in the last 31 games. Two-1 Guardians lead it here in the 3rd. Left field near the line into foul territory, and it will fall. Andres Jimenez leading the way in the clutch, followed by Jose, Ahmed, Josh Naylor.
5 guys having a pretty good year in this department, without a doubt.
Hammered foul. Don't try to catch that one, folks. It's outside on a full count.
Jose gets himself back into the count, and everything's been pretty much split since he got to 2 strikes.
Now pitch foul down the third base side, or first base side rather.
It's almost like Ramirez looking for that stuff down like he did with that changeup off Barrios the other night. Remember, he hit that home run and he went down, and I mean, he picked it up about 6 inches off the ground. I think that's where he's set on. But you also have that chance of going up and see if you can get a swing with the fastball.
Another
stayed
splitter
with it,
and he strikes him out.
and that's just what he needed.
Third strikeout for Gausman. One down here in the third. Back on Friday, Josh Naylor got a fastball up and away and pounded it for a 2-run home run.
Yeah, that made it 5-0 in that third inning. That was a big add-on right there.
Naylor got a high fastball and drove it into center field his first time up. Gausman faked the throw to second. There was no defender within 10 feet of the bag. Bounced it.
Naylor had a good at-bat for a single in his first at-bat after he had 2 strikes on him. He tried to elevate the fastball, and he got on top of it for a single. Second hit in that first inning.
Swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Naylor came in batting .287 over his last 29 games, 11 extra base hits. As we just showed you, he's been one of those Guardians hitters who's been good in the clutch. Hitting .325 with runners in scoring position. Another splitter, he got a piece of it. It's 1-2.
Yeah, you can see it's hard to wait on that pitch because he does throw hard enough to get it by you at 96, 97. And he did a little bit better job staying back there, but that ball just all of a sudden disappears.
Lost the handle. Back-to-back strikeouts for Gausman with that runner at second base.
Just another good pitch. He stayed down with everything, splits with everything. Excellent pitch. Gets the strikeout out number 2, and Rosario hasn't advanced yet.
Well, at the very least, they're making Gausman have to grind his way through. This will already be his 60th pitch of the game. Oscar Gonzalez popped up on the infield to end the first. Chased a high fastball, and it's 1-1. Got in on him. Center field, Tapia. And the side is retired. We move to the bottom of the third. 2-1 Cleveland. In one-run games, Cleveland 20-13. The Blue Jays 23-17. It was a 2-1 Blue Jays victory yesterday to even this series up. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. leading off inning number 3. He singled to right field in the first and came around and scored the Blue Jays' only run. Called. Bieber gets ahead 1-2.
The righties have their own issues now with Bieber from Toronto because he's got that nasty slider he can throw down and away. That's the protect mode there.
What's the pitch he needs to execute to keep him honest?
He's got to make sure he gets inside just to get, you know, I think a fastball. Get him off that side. He gets the 2 strikes. He likes going that way, and I can see it. He's got that knuckle curve, too, that he can combat that with. Slows it down, and now there it was, a little more. You know, it takes a little more speed off of that break, and it goes straight down compared to the slide piece.
Nice pitch by Bieber. He's retired 6 in a row.
You know, when you watch their approach coming out of the chute, there's a fastball, and he's taking them that way. That's Gurriel. He wants to go that way. Kirk wants to go that way. They all stay inside the baseball very well. So you're going to have to slow it down, pitch him in, and use a variety of different pitches to get him. That's why they hit, you know, for 263. And, you know, the Guardians aren't far behind. You know, they're hitting at 251, and they use the whole field, everybody. That's
to Rosario.
Like first pitch off of him, taken out every day of the week.
Arch, in the past, you've said with Kluber, I remember the Kansas City guys telling me this, Stockers and guys like that you almost have to pitch them like it's strike 2 early in the count.
Yeah, you got to make quality pitches on first pitch, but he normally does. You know, he's a strike 1 guy most of the time, and I think that certainly helps. See, they got him out of the stretch from the very first hitter, and I think that didn't help. It's nice if you can go out there and just use your full windup for that first inning to get a feel for all, you know, your pitches. But look at him, 7 pitches in the second, which is a great inning, and he can get out of this one here on 9 if he can get it out, and he does. Beautiful. 3 to shortstop. Lovely.
1, 2, 3, and after 3, it's the Guardians 2 and the Blue Jays 1. Mobile coverage cam leading off the second inning. Owen Miller, thunk, wedged at the base of the wall in right field for a double. And then Hedges bloops one in and bounces it over the head of Tapia. And the Guardians took a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, and that bounce, as soon as it went over Tapia's head, that enabled Miller to come around to score. Wedges put a little Mosconi spin on that ball on the turf. It got up over his head.
Owen Miller, 23 doubles on the year. Osmond wants a new baseball.
They did that a lot when they were back in Cleveland in May when it was chilly, it was cool, and they were talking about the baseball being so slick. We had a little conversation up here before the game, and that's what we said. It's a little warmer, it's a little hotter, and you don't see as many people changing the baseball.
But maybe Gausman, because of that split, and it is such a feel pitch, he may be a little more sensitive than the average guy.
He may want one with a different set of seams on there. That, I mean, you know, he may, the way he puts it in his hand.
Top foul.
I told you guys, it's pretty amazing that once it warmed up, we haven't seen guys really complain or throw balls out anymore.
Yeah, not as much, that's for sure.
And I know they put the humidors in every ballpark, and I wonder if Major League Baseball, and and I shouldn't even start this conversation, but I wonder if Major League Baseball has paid attention to that. Maybe they need to do something different in the first couple of months of the season when the temperatures aren't
right back
as warm, and when you get a little humidity. And
well, now that they did change it but after you rubbed them up, they had to be closed and everything,
right,
covered up or remained covered.
Let's be honest, we don't know what they're truly doing.
No, that's so true. We don't.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And that's low and away. Kevin Gausman back in 2012. So you're talking 10 years ago. He was the 4th overall pick in the draft. Carlos Correa went number 1 to Houston. Byron Buxton number 2 to Minnesota. Mike Zunino, the catcher, number 3 to Seattle. And then Kevin Gausman to Baltimore.
Wow. And Matt just never figured it out.
2-2 pitch, a line drive to third for out number 1.
Boy, Miller smoked it, hit it hard again.
Gausman pitched 5 years for Baltimore with varying success, and then they traded him to Atlanta. And he pitched well for Atlanta after the trade down the stretch. In 10 games, he pitched really well. But then the next year, it went the other way on him. And Atlanta released him after 16 starts in 2019 and an ERA of 6.19. Wow. He was claimed off waivers by the Reds. And it was pitching coach Derek Johnson at the time who basically found a flaw. He said, you're picking up your target too late. And he said, that's giving you your command issues. So Gausman delved into the research on this. As Tyler Freeman takes the pitch off the plate. And it's interesting. He said, I like archery. So I started studying the great archery guys. And he said, the biggest thing was aim small, miss small. So it was more a matter of picking up the target. There's a bouncer and a great play by Guerrero, but he can't find the handle. And Tyler Freeman will have an infield single.
He made a nice diving stop, but in the transfer, he lost it. Came out of his hand. I'm sure it'll go as a hit. It was a great effort by Guerrero, but Freeman's going to get a base knock.
So it's interesting when you think about it. He literally went back to basics, right? The very next year, he said every day I would play catch. I would pick up my target early and just focus on hitting that target.
Yeah.
And slowly but surely, things started to change. He had a big bounce back year with San Francisco, became a free agent, and signed a monster deal with Toronto, and he has just taken off.
It's amazing.
Think about that. Something that simple.
Right.
Pick up your target a little bit earlier.
And you know he was talented because, as Matt just told us, he was one of the top picks in the draft.
I was going to say, with an arm like this, he's got a perfect starter's body. Long and lean, and I mean, he's strong. Great stuff. Just something that basic. Look at they're running at will now.
That throws into the center field area. Freeman gets up. He'll go to third. And a runner 90 feet away with 1 out here in inning number 4 on a stolen base, the first of Tyler Freeman's career. And the throwing error by Kirk gets him to third.
It's got to be that leg kick.
I think, oh, sure it is. I think
that
tells you right now, Sandy's saying, let's go, man. We got the green light. Get your track shoes out and get going early. Because he has that leg kick, and I'm sure he doesn't have a good move to first base. Freeman will get his first bag. Now they got to bring the infield in, and Hedges has a chance. Maybe he can spin another one and get another ribby here. Good opportunity with 1 out. And when you can do that at the bottom part of your lineup, you get them on and you can send them, that opens doors, baby.
Infield in, 3 on the left side for Hedges.
Good job.
In the air right field, over near the line. Long run for Biggio. Tagging
send him.
Freeman. It drops. It's a fair ball. On his way to second is Hedges. He'll go in there safely, and Freeman scores. It's 3-1 Cleveland.
How about that? That's a ball you were waiting for him to catch. Freeman went back to tag up. Hedgie thought he was going to catch it because he almost got caught napping going to second base and get thrown out. He had a long, look how far he has to go, and he slowed up before he picked it back up. It stayed fair, and then that's when Hedges had to kick it in. But he'll get himself his second hit and his second RBI.
Hedges has the bloop ball working, Arch.
Yeah, he does. That's the spin. He's got the spin going.
He's knocked in 2, and it's 3-1 Guardians. Miles Straw, the batter. Fastball misses inside. Straw goes to right field. Biggio is there, makes the catch this time.
Well, he was playing Straw way over to the line, almost like a left-handed pull hitter. And that's a good scouting report because, you know, he doesn't drive it over your head that way. So they get the second out.
And now Stephen Kwan. 0 for his last 8, but on the year he's hit an even 300 with runners in scoring position. Lifted foul and out of play. Rick, they haven't knocked him out of the box, but it's a little reminiscent of that McClanahan start against Tampa. They've made him work. They've put up, you know, competitive at bats, and he's closing in on 80 pitches already.
A few bloops here and a few bloops there, and you catch a few breaks. And he's coming off. Told you his last 2 starts, he was pitcher of the week. Had 14 shutout innings. They get him in the first on a home run ball, and they've been a thorn in his side every inning.
You know, Tito said after that start you're talking about, Matt, he said that's why.
Center field routine play, Dre.
That's why you don't want to strike out.
Put
the ball in play and make them work.
Absolutely. Little ball. They got a big ball in the first, but they just keep scratching and clawing, and they're up 3-1 midway through the 4th.
Heading home after today, and we'll start a 3-day 4-game series against the Tigers tomorrow. And on Wednesday, 10,000 fans will receive a Guardians clear tote bag. That's courtesy MLB Network. Get your tickets on CLEGuardians.com, or you can use the ballpark app.
Teoscar Hernandez leads off for Toronto here in the bottom of the 4th. And Shane Bieber with a fastball strike. Blue Jays came out swinging. 3 out of the first 4 batters had hits against Shane Bieber. Since then, he has retired 8 straight.
Yeah, he's been very efficient after that. He made an adjustment.
Foul up the third baseline.
We'll send out some birthday wishes now. Happy birthday to Shirley Sventek, turning 90 from Westfield, New York. Shirley, happy birthday.
Right, Westfield, huh?
Yeah, Westfield, New York. And then Dash Murphy, turning 6 out in Avon Lake, out in the pool maybe today, having a picnic.
I hope so.
Don't know if they got the water in it yet. Dash, happy birthday, my friend.
Maybe Dad just dug a hole in the yard and filled it up with a hose.
I think the hose has been running.
It's been running, you know that. Hey, and everybody out there, I love you. Stop sending me pictures of Arch in blue uniforms. I got it.
Well, that's your fault for asking.
I was curious, man.
Well, now you're not.
I don't need no more pictures of you. I know what you look like.
You see me daily.
Yes, I know you better than most. I don't need any more.
You got that right.
One ball, 2 strikes. Caught in between. He held up, though.
That was a good take by Hernandez. That's the pitch that's so easy. I think that was his knuckle curve that finally entices the hitter, but he held up. Live for another pitch.
His RBI double in the first, the last hit, last man to reach against Bieber, and he strikes out here to start the bottom of the fourth. Second K for the right-hander, 9 in a row retired by Bieber.
This is how efficient that Bieber has been in that second and third inning. He got up and he got after it early, and they had some quick innings, and that's what he needed.
Six ground ball outs.
I like those outs when they come early too. You know, those ground ball outs, they pay dividends in the long run.
What a dramatic turnaround for Matt Chapman this year. Back on July the 5th. So that's just a little over a month ago. He was hitting .212. Since then, he's batted .317 with a dozen home runs.
Yeah.
Diving stop at third by Freeman. He gets up and throws him out, 2 away.
Nice play.
Couple of good defensive plays behind Bieber. Josh Naylor in the first.
Yes, that
now
was
Freeman here in the fourth.
Yeah, both on the corners, and they left their feet to get up and make nice plays. But you know, we've talked about it with Bieber and many of these guys that pitch in the starting rotation. They're around the plate. Guys are ready to play. They're ready on every pitch if that's put in play.
It's funny. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, normally you see Bieber strike a lot of guys out, but you still have to be ready.
You know, Kyle Quantrill said something the other day when we were talking about Quan's catch. He said, we're plus defensively no matter what lineup we put out there. And he says, as a pitcher, it makes my job so much easier because I don't worry about the ball getting hit. And he said for him, he's a contact guy. And he says, as a contact pitcher, you need to trust the guys behind you. And he goes, I really do. He goes, I'm not saying it because there's cameras in front of me. These guys go out and make plays. They line up right. They pay attention. That's huge for a starting pitcher.
Well, Dre, how nice is it that you get Tyler Freeman, you call him up, you plug him in, and you can put him anywhere defensively in the infield, and he's above average.
That's what we said about Ernie Clement. But Ernie played third base. That was probably his best position, but he played other places.
Give some love to a guy that played here and played for the Cleveland organization. They all tell me Johnny Mack has been huge for them down in the minors, getting them prepared for this.
Hard hit ground ball, diving attempt, but Miller can't get there. And that stops a string of 10 in a row, retired by Bieber. Raimel Tapia with a 2-out single here in the fourth.
Well, he found the hole. He had it was Naylor that robbed him his last at bat. This time he was able to get it under the glove of Miller and get a hit. So a 2-out single here. First hit since the first inning for Toronto.
Tapia on the year has stolen 5 out of 6. And Merrifield pops it up on the infield. Naylor. Inning over. 4 complete from Toronto. Guardians 3, Blue Jays 1. Cleveland Guardians baseball brought to you by Union Home Mortgage. Promises kept. The Hockey Hall of Fame right down the road here in Toronto.
Have you ever been in there?
Many times. Fastball to Ahmed Rosario, misses inside. Best part of the Hockey Hall of Fame is the trophy room. They have all of the trophies.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're all pretty ornate. And they all have great history. Swing and a miss. Ahmed Rosario started the scoring today with a home run in the first inning, and it was a blast to straightaway center.
Yeah, he didn't waste any time getting on that first pitch. And he's 2 for 2. He got an infield hit with great hustle in his last at bat in the third. Gausman still hasn't walked anybody in today's game. I told you coming in it was his 22nd start of the year, and he's only 20 walks.
Missed up high with a fastball.
Ahmed has been on every time today.
First walk issued by Gausman.
Yeah.
Leadoff man aboard here in the 5th. Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk and Elk. Mike Trout's been out since July 12th. He did take some batting practice. That's a very tough injury situation, though, based on the reports we've heard. It's something he's going to have to manage for the rest of his career.
Yeah. Arch, do you think that we'll get a pitch out knowing that they've been aggressive early? We don't see very many, but it's obvious the Guardians have something.
Well, that is true. They could throw just a high fastball if they don't want to pitch out. It doesn't seem like teams pitch out much anymore. We did see one, but they'll throw to first base maybe a few times.
Yeah. Hold it a little longer maybe.
Yes.
Because you can't change how he pitches. That leg kick is that leg kick.
That's true. He's going to have to make the adjustment, or they will run him to death. And Rosario, a guy that already has one today, Freeman has one, and they went on first pitches. You know what I'm saying? First pitch, they wanted to maybe go away, not knowing if Rosario would take off. The same situation. He stole a base on the first pitch, and Gausman able to get out of the inning after he struck out Ramirez, Naylor, and got Gonzalez to pop out to center.
Drilled foul.
Matt, I'll tell you what, there's not many days you can say the Guardians have 7 hits and Jose Ramirez has got 2 strikeouts.
That's true.
You know?
And Kwan doesn't have one of them either.
It's a good sign for them.
Well, you have to take advantage of guys like this anytime you get opportunities. And you know, you're in the middle part of the ball game now. You have a 2-run lead to add on again.
You're gonna miss that splitter is just vexing.
Yeah, it is. And if the harder you try to hit it, the worse it gets because you end up chasing it.
I know it's oversimplifying it, but you mentioned it early. It's
low, let it go.
There's a little bit of that knuckleball philosophy at play here.
It would be for me. I mean, you go up there and you're not going to hit it, and if you do, it's going to be on the ground. It wouldn't be very hard. You've got to try and make this guy get the ball up a little bit. May get one up here. That's usually what they do too when they go to first base. Catchers will come up and they'll slide inside to the hitter and go up, knowing he's going to go to first base, and that hitter may peek behind to see where the catcher's at, thinking, oh, he's getting one inside, and then go right back out with that splitter down and away.
Gets away. Rosario will go to second.
There you go. Don't need the help there. That looked like a little slider or cutter to me.
Yeah, I think it was a breaking ball because it had down and in action.
Yes, and Kirk couldn't get to it. And it.
Oh no,
no,
it
was not. That was
just
a
yanked
split.
It.
He did. He pulled it, and it had different spin, and he had to go over with the just the left arm in the glove, and it went off the end of the glove.
Ruled a wild pitch.
Yeah, wild pitch on the splitter. That's a good replay for us to see. But it did originally look like a slider going out of his hand.
Action in the Toronto bullpen. Gausman closing in on 90 pitches. This will be number 88.
There's a good
low.
take.
Full count. David Phelps is the right-hander.
In the last game that Gausman pitched against us back on May 7th, he went 6 1/3 innings and threw 104 pitches. He's in just to the 5th inning right now, and he's at 88.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out with a fastball off the plate, and he's K'd Ramirez 3 times today.
Yeah, he ran one off the plate, got the swing. That certainly is a rarity.
Only the 2nd time this year Ramirez has struck out 3 times in a game. So that brings up Josh Naylor. Look, they've had their leadoff man aboard 3 out of the 5 innings. They've had base runners everywhere. And so, you know, this is one of those games where he's had to work hard every inning. And this may be one of those cases where 90 pitches feels like 190 for him.
And then this is where the danger zone is, because how many outs can you keep getting? I mean, the hitters now going through the lineup for the 3rd time should have a pretty good idea what his stuff is doing.
Diving stop by Merrifield, but it kicks off his chest. Rosario will score, and it's now 4-1 Cleveland as Josh Naylor has his 2nd hit of the day and his 57th run batted in on the year.
You know, there's just only so many times you can get the lineup out. This is another break. I mean, it's almost like the C&I hit. Merrifield did everything in his power to at least stop it. But with Rosario on second, once it deflects, he's going to score easily.
He's lucky that didn't hit him in the face.
Yeah, it looked like it might have got him on the chin or the other shoulder. But there it is. There's run number 4 and a big one. So the only walk he has today has come around to score.
They have 8 hits. He didn't give up 8 hits combined in his last 2 starts. Now back. And it's 0-2.
Yeah, season high is 9 hits allowed. That came back in June against Minnesota. Or is that 8?
Yeah, he gave up 9 hits to Minnesota.
Okay.
But only 3 runs. Got a piece of that to stay alive. I should say he gave up 5 runs. Only 3 of those were earned against Minnesota when they knocked him out in the 4th inning of that game.
Yeah, this bullpen had to cover some innings in this series. They had to cover 5 innings in game 1 and what was it, 4 1/3 yesterday.
Yeah, Barrios went only 4 innings Friday night. Mitch White 4 2/3 yesterday. Back up the middle. Merrifield backs up. There's the shovel for 1. Safe is the call at first base. We'll see if Toronto elects to challenge. It was close.
You know, it almost looked like to me that Gonzalez looked like he was slowing down. They're looking at it. They're looking at it. And they're saying, no way. They're not going to challenge it. He beat it out.
As we watch that replay, remember the other night it was 8-0.
Yes.
And Gonzalez ran it out. And
yep.
It was 8-0, and Tito reviewed it. He went to the umpire after the game. He said, "Hey, I'm not trying to embarrass you, He goes, but when my guys run this hard, and I've told them to run this hard, I've got to do that. I cannot not try to, if my guy says he's safe, well, I got to do it because that's what we're teaching our guys to do. I'm not trying to embarrass you as an umpire.
No, and that was not meant as an embarrassment.
No.
That we talked about it is when you hustle that hard as a player, you have to challenge it for your player. I don't care what the score is, because exactly what you're talking about. You ask them to run hard. Well, if you run hard and you beat it out, you want that hit. I don't care what the score is. You still want the single.
Matt,
and he knew he beat it.
Those are the strides I always dreamed of having.
Right field near the line. It'll get down and go to the wall. On his way to third, Oscar Gonzalez. Mike Sarba going to wave him home. There will be no throw, and it's 5-1 Cleveland. Owen Miller with his second double of the day and his 43rd run batted in of the year.
I'm telling you what, he's had the best at-bats off Gausman of anybody today. 2 doubles, and he lined out to Chapman at third, but this one stayed fair, and he pulled the first 2 times up, but look at him take that high pitch the other way. He tried to get the fastball by him upstairs and paid the price. What a nice job of hitting by Miller. It allowed Gonzalez to score. So that goes to show you hustle down the line, you give yourself an extra at bat, and there's an extra run on the board right there. Beautifully done.
That equals a season high 9 hits allowed by Kevin Gausman, and he'll be shown the door after 4 2/3 innings here in Toronto. We've got a timeout for a pitching change.
Well, Friday, August 19th, the Guardians will host the White Sox, and it's time for a Rockin' Blast presented by First Energy. Also, Sugardale Dollar Dog Night. Be at the ballpark early for a pregame in the district presented by Miller Lite, and you can purchase your tickets with the ballpark app or visit CLEGuardians.com.
Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen made for right-hander David Phelps. And his first pitch is up high, ball 1. Phelps allowed a couple of hits in 1 inning of work on Friday night. Freeman chases one outside the strike zone. 1-1. Runner at second with 2 down here in the 5th. David Phelps has inherited 18 runners this year, only allowed 4 to score. Solo home run on the first by Ahmed Rosario. A bloop RBI single in the second by Austin Hedges. A bloop RBI double by Hedges in the 4th. And then here in the 5th, they have scored twice on RBI hits by Josh Naylor and Owen Miller. Strike 3 called will end the inning. The Guardians have scored in all but 1 inning through the first 5, and they lead it 5-1. They've put 5 on the board now for Shane Bieber, and they're 41-1 all time when they get at least 4. I'll tell you what's most impressive is the fact that Kevin Gausman threw 98 pitches and David Phelps threw 4. So that's 102 pitches through 5 innings of work. And Shane Bieber starts the bottom of the 5th. And look at his pitch count. 45. Yeah. That's unbelievable.
Well, he settled in. They tried to jump him early, and I'll give him credit. He made an adjustment, and that offense kept tacking on, early. And after they got that second or third run, he's felt very comfortable, you can tell, because now he's slowed everything down and he's back in his rhythm.
What does that tell you about the difference between young pitchers and veteran pitchers, the maturity level? You've got enough innings and starts under your belt. That could have gone sideways in the first inning. If you're a young pitcher, right, and they come out 3 of the first 4 guys, they're whacking it all over the yard, and you're thinking, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. But not Shane Bieber. He knows how to make the in-game early adjustment and navigate through that first inning.
Well, that's why you see a lot of pitchers that come up, they can't get, you get to 2 outs and they can't get that 3rd out. They continue. They don't know how to slow the game down when they have to. We always say, if you want to get a good pitcher, get him in the first. You know what? They did get their one in the first, but he minimized it.
Yeah.
He got out of it. He felt a little better. He regrouped, and his offense helped him. So it made it a lot easier.
Go back to that first inning. Second and third, one out. Matt Chapman's the batter. I mentioned it. He's been on a tear. But what did Bieber do? He made quality sliders on the outside corner down out of the zone. He couldn't even get a piece of those.
He made the pitches he had to make.
Yeah. Santiago Espinal leads off the bottom of the fifth with a base hit in the left field. Time for a Ken Ganley Kia game break. Back to Cleveland. Here's Al Pawlowski. Thanks, Al.
Matt, to keep you up with the American League Central, Detroit right now leads Chicago 2-1 in the top of the fourth inning against Lance Lynn of the White Sox.
All right.
Well, and the Baltimore Orioles will be coming here tomorrow for a series against the Blue Jays, so that'll be interesting as well.
You know, Tito said it the other night, and I agree with him. This is fun to come to the ballpark and care about your game, but also care about what's going on around baseball. This is a fun time of the year.
And September is going to be really exciting. The wild card race in the American League is tightly bunched together. And what's interesting is when you've got Baltimore and Tampa right now, I mean, who knows, things could change, but Baltimore and Tampa right now are neck and neck in that wild card race. And we did a little peeking ahead. Baltimore in the month of September has 10 games with these Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, that's what you want. I mean, that's what you look forward to.
Snap throw to first. It's a little offline. And Naylor with a nice leaping catch to keep that one from going down the line.
He was trying to decoy him.
Hedgie's feeling good about himself, too.
Yeah, he's trying to, decoy him, see if he'd get up and try and go to second.
Well, that's a hard throw with a left-handed hitter there, too.
You got to go behind the body. Yeah, you got to go around him.
Yank foul. That's how things stand going into action today. Very tightly bunched together.
It's going to be like
it's going to be, I was going to say it's probably going to be that way until September 30th.
Yeah, well, until somebody really takes charge and runs off a little straight.
You're going to have to sweep somebody the way with Matt telling the way the matchups work.
Well, we talked about it when we were down in St. Pete. Tampa's got a brutal schedule in September, just in terms of they're in their division. They're playing a lot of teams in the East.
Yeah. They're going to have to earn it if they get there.
No
that's
doubt.
for sure. Nice.
Swung on and missed. He struck him out. Well, Minnesota could not gain any ground on Cleveland because last night they were leading 3-1 late until that ball got by Gordon in left field. That enabled the Angels to tie it.
Almost won it.
Almost won it there. But then in extra innings, they walked off Emilio Pagan.
What were we
not him.
Hey, I told you the big guy gave up a solo shot in the 8th on a slider to Shohei Ohtani.
Right.
The bullpen for the Twins fell apart. They were up 3-0 going into the 8th inning last night. I had the kids with me, so that's what AJ and I watched till 2 a.m., Arch. It was pretty exciting.
Yeah, those are tough, but, you know, that happens. You get out on the road.
Line drive base hit right center field. Oscar trying to cut it off, can't get it. Straw does, and that'll keep Espinal from scoring. Into second is Gurriel with a double. And these Blue Jays fans with something to cheer about for the first time since that first inning.
Yeah, well, they know it's only a 4-run ball game right now, and they're at their home park that they truly love. And Gonzalez went for this, and Straw backed him up, which was nice. They did a nice job to get it in quickly. So Gurriel gets his second hit, his 27th double. And they have some action going, second and third, and just one out here in the fifth.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 0 for 2. He has really been aggressive against Bieber. And he swings at the first pitch out of the zone here for strike one. Tapper up the middle. Rosario cuts it off. He'll throw out Guerrero 2 down. A run scores to make it 5-2. Espinal coming home to give Guerrero his 69th run batted in on the year.
That's all right. You'll trade that out for a run there, especially with that guy at the plate. The way he's been going, his 22-game hitting streak, you get a ground ball out and may be able to move that runner to third, but you have 2 outs.
And Alejandro Kirk will be the batter, 1 for 2 today. He singled back in the first inning, grounded out to Ahmed Rosario to end the third. A little low, ball 1. Fastball, bottom of the zone, 1-1. Topped it foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, runner at third. Another big crowd here at the Rogers Center.
Yeah, it's been a good series. It's been a nice weekend here in Toronto. It really has.
Yesterday, their 3rd biggest crowd of the year, a sellout.
Yeah, the roof open all 3 days. Great crowds, good baseball. Doesn't get any better.
Two-2 pitch in the dirt, full count.
Wanted to see if Captain Kirk would swing at that ball down in the dirt.
Chop to third, foul ball. Center field, Straw racing back, leaps up and makes the catch. He steals extra bags from Alejandro Kirk and holds the Blue Jays at bay. Through 5, it's Cleveland 5 and Toronto 2. Time for our Miller Lite moment.
Little backspin on that single right there, but it ended up driving in a run. Look at Hedgie celebrating. And not only that, he gets another one here down the line. This one being a double. Drives in the second and the third run with his 2 hits today. And
Guns blazing.
Yeah, he's not stopping. Are you kidding me? He's having fun. He's 2 for 2 with 2 RBI. Get another knock.
And the gunfighter takes a fastball for a strike here in the 6th.
He gets on. Oh, that's right. We got Gausman out. They may not try to steal again.
He's trying to keep up with the mailman.
Yeah, he is.
The mailman in the month of August is hitting .436 with 5 ribbies.
Hey, that's what you like, a little friendly competition.
Yeah, especially after we showed that video of what happened the last time they both were here.
Yeah,
It's been a fun weekend for those
yeah,
two.
it has. Yeah, Willie Mosconi's trying to catch the mailman.
We're going to do an open with you just talking pool. We got a couple this weekend. We got Quan with the bunt hit.
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
Hedges down on strikes. David Phelps has struck out the 2 batters he has faced since coming on in the 5th. Straw looks at a fastball for a strike. Out of play to the right. And the 1-2 is line to right. Near the line, Biggio reaches out, makes the catch. Oh, man, did he hit that sidewall hard.
What a play. Boy, you talk about staying with it. And I think he got to that point right there where he was ready for it. He knew he was going to hit it. And he robs Straw from a double is what he did. That would have been a fair ball. Boom, and now he knew it was coming. But the legs were bent. Didn't hyperextend anything. He just took a nice shot, but it was a really nice play.
We had a ball lodged under the wall in the first inning.
Now we got a play.
Now we got his feet lodged under there.
He sure did. Look at that. That's really good concentration by Biggio. Phelps is happy because his right fielder is still in.
Do you think maybe, too, the sting of not catching that ball last inning made, he said, I'm going to catch this ball,
yeah,
or die trying?
Yeah, well, yes, I do. And he almost died trying.
I tell you what. That's risky business when you go into those sidewalls. I think it's worse for an outfielder than going back against the outfield wall.
Yeah, when you get to the side, it certainly is, because you got to give up at some point in time.
Here we go again on the other side. And making the catch is Gurriel before he goes into the netting. A couple of impressive foul outs here in the 6th.
Well, if you missed Friday's Rock and Blast show presented by First Energy, don't worry. It's back on Saturday when the Guardians will host the White Sox. 12,500 fans will receive a Guardians blanket courtesy of Union Home Mortgage. Be at the ballpark early for a pregame in the district, and you can purchase your tickets at the ballpark app or visit CLEGuardians.com.
Bottom of the 6th inning, and Shane Bieber back to work. And a fastball strike to Teoscar Hernandez, who doubled home a run on the first, struck out his last time up. High fly ball, right center field. Oscar Gonzalez makes the catch, one away. We'll get a word right now from Labatt Blue.
Share Labatt and save $9 after mail-in rebate. Visit a participating Labatt retailer to share a good-natured Canadian Pilsner.
Thinking of Labatt Blue reminds me of the first time I ever went to Montreal.
Did you have one? Or 10?
De Bleu. You were asking about the Hockey Hall of Fame earlier. One of the neatest things about the Hockey Hall of Fame that I remember, and I don't know if it's still there, if they changed the displays up, but they have sort of a replica of the Montreal Canadiens locker room.
Yeah.
And most hockey fans would know that the Canadiens are the Yankees of the NHL.
Right.
They've won a gazillion Stanley Cups. But the really cool part about it is on the wall in the Canadiens locker room, at least it was in the old building, I don't know if it still is, but there's a line from a poem titled In Flanders Fields, which was a World War I poem. But the line is, from failing hands we pass the torch to you, be it yours, hold it high. And it just sort of encapsulates pro sports. You know, you only play this game a short time, and when you're done, you pass the torch to the next generation.
Right.
And you hope they carry it proudly, carry on the tradition of the organization.
That's awesome.
They always will. Montreal.
Fastballs, rung him up. That's strikeout number 4 for Shane Bieber.
Yeah, he's had a couple of big strikeouts against Chappie. That's a good low dart.
Arch, how much does it help that he got the first one on that slider away?
Yes, that does, because he's waiting for that ball to go out of the zone, and he rode the nice low dart, the fastball by him.
Arch, if your partner had 10 Molson Ices, he wouldn't be working with us. He wouldn't have made it back.
Oh, yeah, I would have.
That ice stuff, that's whew.
Yeah, it does something different to you.
2 down for Raimel Tapia. And he looks at a fastball strike, and Bieber is feeling it.
You know, he usually gets the mid part of the ball game, and you see him pick it up, and he does get stronger. We see a lot of times. And again, he minimized it to only allow 1 run in the 5th. And that's what you do when you have a lead, man. If you can minimize them and not let them put crooked numbers on the board, you keep them at bay.
Nothing and 2 the count on Tapia. Two-strike pitch. Fouled off.
Tapia was robbed of a base hit by Naylor in his first at-bat, but ended up getting another base hit in the 4th, getting it under the glove of Miller at second base. So he's been to that hole twice today between first and second.
Swung on and missed. He struck him out. Boy, Shane Bieber, 3 times in 6 innings. He's retired the Blue Jays in order. 5 Ks on the day. It's 5-2 Cleveland. Cleveland Guardians baseball brought to you by Chevrolet, the #1 selling family of SUVs in the Cleveland area. And Spectrum Mobile. Switch and save with Spectrum Mobile. Nationwide 5G included. Restrictions apply. Visit SpectrumMobile.com. You want some snacks? Right, go right there. That's where they have the snacks.
Yeah. But is it open?
7th inning. 5-2 Cleveland. David Phelps has pitched an inning in the 3rd of perfect relief. But now he's facing the man who's a perfect 2 for 2 with a walk. He has scored 2 runs, driven 1 in, stolen a base. He's got a home run. Ahmed Rosario. Now 127 hits on the year. He began the day 3rd in the league in hits. Oh, I beg your pardon. They changed pitchers.
It looked like the same guy.
Who do we have here?
You got Richards.
Trevor Richards.
They've seen just about everybody out of that pen in this series. Oh, they say he went.
2-2. And a foul right back. I do have to say at first glance, Richards and Phelps do look a lot alike, don't they?
I did the same thing.
Phelps went an inning and a 3rd, struck out a pair.
Yeah, did a nice job to put a 0 on there.
Full count. And he strikes him out. That's 8 strikeouts today for Toronto pitching.
Probably the only guy in a Guardians uniform.
That's foul.
I was going to say, only guy happy that Gausman's out is at the plate right now.
Yeah, that's true. He worked over Jose today pretty good. But you can't carry it every day. Your teammates took care of him.
No doubt.
That's the beauty of this game.
I was just going to say that you don't have Hemi playing today. Jose's hasn't done much at the plate. Quan hasn't done much at the plate.
Yeah.
For me, the beauty of this season is early on, first month, really first 2 months. How many times do you think Rick said, I can't believe they're pitching to Jose Ramirez? He's the one guy that you know, and he kept doing damage game in, game out. He was carrying them offensively, and then guys started to pitch in. And,
they really did.
I mean, absolutely.
It started with Ahmed and then Naylor. I mean, and all these young guys kept doing their thing. And so now Jose doesn't have to carry the load.
That's the nice thing about it.
Maybe been the best part of this season. You know, that he was able to get things rolling and give people confidence. Hey, you can go back to when he signed that contract back in Arizona before the season started.
Well, they play like he does. They play the game with enthusiasm. They run hard. They play it the way you're supposed to play.
All right, knowing Jose and knowing the bad day he's had, Arch.
He's off.
Didn't somebody take the lead in stolen bases yesterday, too, from him?
Well, you know what? It wouldn't surprise me. Josh Naylor has had a good day today. First time up, got a base hit in the first on a high fastball, then drove in that run that was really a big run at that time.
That somebody was sitting not far from you, Andres Jimenez, down near the end of the bench most of the afternoon. He has 15 steals to lead the team. And there goes Ramirez.
You knew it.
And there's nobody home to take the throw. Getting there
He's
late.
out.
He came off the base. Oh, you got to be kidding me.
He certainly did. He stole it. He was safe. Came off the base and they tagged him. It's been one of those days, Jose.
Look, there's nobody there, and Kirk does what he's supposed to do. You just throw it.
Now watch, Jose came off the bag, and he kept the tag applied, I believe. Safe, he's there. Knee hits the bag. That bag's hard. Now the hand's on it. Now it comes off. And
right
there's
there.
the tag on the knee.
Wow.
So he was off the base.
Hemi's lead lasts a little bit longer.
That's right. It's
Not
safe
much,
for now.
though. Yeah, safe for now.
Yeah, but the way he slid over that base, I'll tell you what, check his knee out. It's not going to feel real good.
Well, Archie never slides feet first either.
I know.
He only did it because no one was home. It was almost like he was going to catch the ball.
It's almost like it was a foot race to the bag to who was going to get there first, him or the defender that
Right. I got confused.
wasn't covering.
I think I got confused because Chapman was running the third. I was like, wait a minute, where's that guy going?
Because he's seen him. He knows that's where he's going
He'll
next.
keep going, right.
Josh Naylor, 2 hits and a run batted in today. And a one-hopper to first base. This Blue Jays bullpen has continued to keep Toronto in it. 5-2 stretch time here in Toronto.
Each game for how we want to play. I think that we've grown to count on our defense, our relief. Our closer has been pretty special, but we still take a lot of pride in setting the tone each game, giving our team a chance to win, battling, never quitting on an inning, right? Like surviving and thriving and giving our team a chance to do what they're capable of. So absolutely trying to build off what the last guy's done and just set an example.
Shane Bieber with a first pitch strike into Whit Merrifield. Bieber has retired 5 in a row. And this starting staff continues to hum.
Yeah.
Setting the tone.
They're feeding off each other right now. They're on a pretty good roll.
Well, there's no jealousy, as you guys know. They learn from each other. They push each other. They show each other the pitches that are working for them. It's really fun to be around them, and we've said that before with pitching staffs here with this Cleveland organization. But this is a fun one because I think other than Bieber, they all feel like they still have so much to prove, and Biebs feels like, we said it in the beginning of the game.
Always have stuff to prove.
Hard hit ball to third off the chest of Freeman. Rosario recovers and almost threw him out, but Merrifield beats the play, and let's check on Freeman and make sure he's okay.
I want to look at that shoulder. The left shoulder is where it looked like it got him. It got him up high, and it was hit hard.
And he told him, stay away, I'm fine.
Yeah, that's what he said, but he's hurting, I guarantee it. Don't know exactly where, but you see that body, it deflected, and that hurt.
I think right arm.
Yeah, Arch off this turf to that dirt. Is it changing off of that? Ow.
I don't know. That was hit too hard. It's just like coming off natural grass. Maybe a little quicker. I'm not sure, but I'll tell you what, that didn't feel good.
Then they tell him to play in against this guy.
Yeah, he said, yeah, give me a chest protector.
That's going to leave a mark.
Oh, yes.
Santiago Espinal takes a strike.
This is a guy that, too, can use the whole field. He'll like to serve it that way. He served at one yesterday when Jimenez made that play at home plate to get the out to end an inning. That was just a beautiful play to keep it a 1-1 game.
Bullpen begins to stir for Cleveland. Called strike. It's 0-2.
Yes,
he went
did.
around and
yes,
strikes out.
He did.
That's 6 Ks for Shane Bieber, 1 down here in the 7th.
Boy, and that came at the right time. Look at Shane this afternoon. I mean, ever since the outset, when he was able to settle in after they got a run, he's minimized that, and he's made some pitches. He's gotten a lot of nice ground ball outs. And has been typical Shane Bieber. 6 strikeouts now into the 7th inning, still at 85 pitches, and trying to navigate his way through the 7th.
Kevin Biggio 0 for 2. Takes a pitch down low. Back. There's Nick Sandlin getting loose in Cleveland's bullpen. And a fastball strike. There goes the runner, and the ball's hit in the air, left field. In comes Stephen Kwan. He's there and makes the catch. 2 down. Merrifield retreats to first.
I knew why they started that runner. 2-2 with the left-hander pitch, and I figured they thought he was going to throw the curveball, which he did. He left it up and he popped it up. But they wanted to start the runner even though they were down. They took a chance, but the hitter popped it up, and Bieber gets the second out.
You really want to get this guy knowing who's on deck.
Yes,
with the
absolutely.
guy on first base.
No question. But Gurriel has 2 hits today, single and a double, and he didn't give in. He started him off with the slider.
Swing and a miss and a high fastball, and it's 0-2 on Gurriel. And a little low. The 1-2. Just off the plate. Try to go the other way, he does, and avoids the leaping Whit Merrifield with a base hit in the right field.
He was decoying like he was going to steal, and then he took off. And I'll tell you, that's a good piece of hitting by Gurriel, his 3rd hit of the day, and he just shot it between the hole. He was looking for anything out over the plate. He got it. Merrifield has to jump rope to get to second. And now you've got first and second and 2 outs. And Guerrero coming to the plate, who's 0 for 3 and on a 22-game hitting streak.
Carl Willis and Terry Francona just had a long discussion back and forth, and they're not coming out.
It looked like they pointed out there and said, let's give him one more.
Yeah. Tito even kind of had a sly grin on his face.
Guerrero again swings at the first pitch.
Started him off inside. I like it. He swung at every first pitch today from Bieber. And this time he wasn't going to leave it out over the plate. We saw right from the outset these guys were trying to shoot Shane the other way to right field. They've done a nice job. If you look at the number of hits they've got that way in this ball game. He knows it. Hedges knows it.
The 1-1.
Nice.
Fastball, bottom of the zone. Look at Guerrero take a hack after that ball went by him.
He was looking for the off-speed pitch. He was looking for the slider, so he was sitting back and he got the fastball thrown by him. Couldn't believe it. And then he says, I'm going to take a hack at that. He was waiting for it.
Big bouncer towards third. Freeman throws him out. What a job by Shane Bieber. In 7 innings of work, he holds the Blue Jays to 2 runs, and the Guardians lead it by 3. And 2 out, one of the best hitters in the game at the plate. Shane Bieber went to work, and man, did he do a number on Vladdy Jr.
Yeah, that first pitch started him inside. I like it. And then he missed with his slider. Now here's the pitch in that equation. The fastball down. He was looking for another slider. Then he gets the slider and beat it into the ground. Nice sequence by Bieber. He was pumped up. That was a big turning point in this game.
Absolutely. You can't underscore that enough. The 8th inning, Oscar Gonzalez leading off, and the new pitcher is Anthony Bass, 4th pitcher of the afternoon for Toronto. Oscar 0 for 3, reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the 5th. Slow chopper to third. Chapman tried a bare hand grab, couldn't come up with it. And I'm not sure he would have gotten Gonzalez anyway.
No, that was his only play. You have to bare hand that. He plays as deep at third base as anybody, and he has to come in. And knowing that Gonzalez gets down the line once he doesn't make this play. See how far he had to run, and he just came up a little too early on it, knowing he had to get rid of it. It'll be a base hit for Gonzalez, and one more would be nice.
Well, Owen Miller has barreled it up 3 times today. He doubled to left in the 2nd. He had a line drive at the third baseman Chapman for an out in the 4th, and then he doubled in a run down the right field line in the 5th inning to Chapman again. That's 1 and 2.
Well, that took care of that in a hurry.
Big Trevor Stephan getting loose for Cleveland. He'll come on to pitch the 8th. Meanwhile, with 2 down, Tyler Freeman at the plate. He singled in 3 trips today, stolen a base and scored a run.
And took a shot off, we think, the chest or the arm last inning.
Good low fastball from Bass. 1 ball and 2 strikes. A little low and a full count.
Drew Rasmussen was pitching for Tampa today against Baltimore. Had a perfect game through 8. Gave up a base hit to the first hitter in the 9th.
One hopper to second. Merrifield throws him out. We move to the bottom of the 8th. It remains 5-2 Cleveland. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Guardians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Guardians. 5-2, Guardians lead it. Bottom of the 8th inning, Trevor Stephan on to pitch the 8th inning. 45th appearance on the year. 55 strikeouts in his 44 innings of work. Andres Jimenez also now into the ball game, taking over at second base for Owen Miller. 3, 4, 5 hitters due up for Toronto. Alejandro Kirk will lead it off. Nasty first pitch slider.
What a great start for Biebs today. Going 7 innings, 8 hits, couple of runs. 6 strikeouts, no walks.
You know, Andre has been talking a lot about the rotation and how they have passed the baton. They've fed off each other. They have pushed each other. And it's interesting because I started thinking about it. 2 years ago, you had the pandemic season, which was just strange.
Yeah.
And you know, everybody had to do their part. They did their best. They got through it. There were some wonderful performances. Shane Bieber was the Cy Young winner. Tristan McKenzie had some moments that were really special. Then last year, Shane Bieber missed 3 months. Zach Plesac missed 6 weeks. Tristan missed 5 weeks. He made 1 start in that span. And Savali was out 9 weeks. So that rotation never had a chance to get all 5 guys together on a roll like what we're seeing right now.
So true.
The other part of that, Cal Quantrill got hot in the second half and found himself as a starter.
It was
because of all those
pitchers
injuries.
in the second half.
He was a monster the last half of the year.
Yeah, right.
Those injuries gave an opportunity to Cal Quantrill, and he ran with it. And now because of that, you've got a great 5-man rotation.
Yeah. It really has taken shape this year.
Well, as you guys know, if you want to talk October baseball, you got to have at least 3 or 4 guys you can count on. And right now, they're probably ahead of a lot of teams. When we talk wild card, and you can talk the division of the Central, they've got 4 or 5. They got 5 guys they can rely on. They trust.
We go out every day thinking that we got a chance to win a game. It doesn't matter who we pitch because, like we've been talking about, they don't score a ton of runs, but they know when to score. They get clutch hitting. They got guys. You know, they stay in every game.
I call that one of the Tito rules that we don't speak of, but you just said it. He's told I remember every one of these guys when they came up. The only rule he had is you got to make everybody in this clubhouse believe we can win when you're on the mound. And he tells them, if we don't believe that, then you can't be one of the 5 guys that we rely on day in and day out.
And they do believe, and it doesn't matter who toes the rubber.
The 1-1.
And I talked to Carl Willis before the game today about tomorrow's events, and he said he's glad Aaron Civale's there. He's not all the way back, stretched out the way they want, but he knows where they're at in the season, and he says he's not pushing them. He goes, because Aaron pushes himself, but they've kind of gone back to some of the pitches and some of the things he threw a couple years ago.
Simplifying.
Yep, that's the word. He said, I'm going to simplify it for you. We need to get you going, and we need to get you back where you were at.
Yes. Well, and he made his 1 start in Detroit, and he's going to get a chance against them again. And then it looks like his next one would be against Chicago over the weekend.
And think about what you were saying before Civale got hurt, Matt. He was well on his way.
Yeah.
To be an all-star.
And a miss. I think he got him. Yes, he did. He held on. It's a strikeout for Stephan, 2 away.
Well, you get in there. There's a nice breaking ball from Stephan. You know, for the left-handers, everybody looks for that splitter that he throws. But there's the breaking ball. That's awfully good to right-handers as well, to go with his good fastball. 3 above-average pitches for Trevor Stephan. Boy, this is the way Tito likes to draw it up, isn't it? My starter, give me 7, give me a 2 or 3 run lead, and I can go to my 8 and 9 guy.
Well, it's big considering you got another doubleheader tomorrow.
Right.
And we just talked about it. Civale's not stretched out. You got a kid making his debut in the 2nd game.
Right.
So much as you can help stay away from the pen today.
Look at, we had 7 from Quantrill, 6
Right.
and 2/3 from Tristan, and 7 from Bieber.
Amazing.
You can't ask for anything any better coming into a series against one of the better hitting clubs in the game.
Two-strike pitch.
Minnesota must know what's going on here in Canada. Byron Buxton in the 1st inning just hit a 2-run home run for the Twins. They're up 2-0. He made an unbelievable catch.
Trevor Stephan strikes him out to end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. And we'll go to the 9th with Cleveland on top 5-2. Guardians Live coming up after the ball game, presented by Toyota with Alan Jensen. The highlights analysis. Andre will take you inside the clubhouse, and you'll hear from Guardians manager Terry Francona straight ahead. 41,102 turning out for the series finale here in Toronto. And as we go to the 9th inning, the Guardians lead by 3, trying to win the series before heading back home to Cleveland. Trent Thornton on to pitch the 9th, 4th reliever of the afternoon.
Well, we had a nice weekend with a lot of people here, didn't we?
You know, I have to say that
120,000 plus.
it starts with the product on the field, right? You have to have the horses, and Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins and their crew have done a nice job of building this club with some good young players going to the free agent market to fill in. I mean, they're competitive in the AL East, even though the Yankees are running away with it this year, but they're in the thick of the wild card race. As this ball's popped up to Guerrero at first for out number 1, but they've also done a nice job of capturing the fan base again. I mean, we've come here for years where it was tough to get crowds, even when they had some good teams.
Yes.
Tough to get crowds into the building. I mean, back in the old days, my goodness, they would sell out this place routinely when they were on their run in the early 90s.
They traveled well, too.
They fell off, but now Mark's got, I mean, they got the music bumping. It's like a nightclub atmosphere in here between innings, isn't it?
It reminds me of the old sound system out in Oakland. Or not the old one, but the same thing. It is so loud in here.
They told us they replaced the sound system, and it is thumping. And all 3 days when we've walked over here, Rick, big crowds long before the gates open. They're lined up to get in here.
All wearing Toronto garb. And
yeah.
It's a festive atmosphere.
It is. And you know what? The players love it. I've had multiple guys come over and say, man, this is great. And talking about the music just in between. They like the vibe that's going on in here as well, visitor and home. I think that's the best compliment you can give to what they're doing.
I don't think our guys could have had a better weekend because the dome was open every day. It was just gorgeous weather. They've had a nice stay here.
And look, hey, they are Canada's team. You know, they should draw well. They should have big crowds here. But again, for a while there, it was tough to capture the imagination of the fans, but they've got them pouring in here now. One ball, 2 strikes. Myles Straw. 0 for 3 today.
Despite all that, Art's still trying to figure out what sitcoms they were talking about on Friday night.
We saw them all.
The 2-2. Struck him out. 2 down. Yeah, I think when they have their weekly meetings and they put ideas in. What do you think about sitcom night? Yeah, it's next.
Yeah, I think that was getting cut.
I don't think that's going to make the call next year.
Back. Just do a throwback night. Don't do that.
Top of the order, Stephen Kwan 0 for 4.
Matt, you're in the uniforms. We went to Boston and we saw the Red Sox never wear their normal uniforms.
Right.
Because they were their winning uniforms, they told us.
Yeah.
Then we come here and they lose the first night in the normal whites. And they wore the light blues.
I like the powder blues, though. It's part of their past. It's legit.
No, it's a beautiful uniform.
You want some more pictures?
No, stop. No, ever. I'm done. Uncle.
All right.
Uncle Arch, no.
Then don't talk about the uniforms.
The 1-1. Stephen Kwan gets a base hit in the center field. That snaps an 0 for 10 for him. And a 2-out base runner here in the 9th.
He can't go more than 10 at bats without getting a hit.
You wouldn't think so.
Back in the first inning, Amed Rosario set the tone. He got on a fastball and it flew out of here.
Yeah, it certainly did. He hit it the straightaway center. Now we've seen him drive it to right. We see him pull a little bit more. Rarely do we see him go straightaway central. Sandy doing a little talking to him, getting a look at his move from Thornton. They were off and running today, not only on Gausman. Last time Ramirez was up, he was taken off in the 7th, but had the stolen base, but came off the bag.
There goes Kwan.
Take the pitch.
Sharp's throw. It couldn't get there.
Now this is the only guy that can keep his hand and foot on the base.
Stolen base number 12 for Stephen Kwan. Second in the series.
And it's a perfect time to take a chance. There's 2 outs. And now a base hit, it'll give you an extra run. And Kirk, nothing he could do. He bounced it. So Kwan steals it easily. Look at
Rosario,
this. Look
right
at
center
this.
field, base hit around third. Kwan's coming home. Tapia's throw nowhere close, and down to second on the throw is Rosario, and the Guardians increase their lead to 6-2.
That's how you do it right there.
Amed Rosario's 3rd hit of the game and his 2nd run batted in today.
And an easy read for Rosario on the throw from Tapia. That was not even close. He wasn't going to get Kwan. It's a breaking ball. He slices it the other way. And once it gets in there, off and running is Kwan, and this is how you do it. You steal second, get a base hit, and just keep right on running. The merry-go-round continues. So that's a big insurance run, making a 6-2 ball game. Rosario, his 2nd ribby.
Well, you know, this guy at the plate wants to join the hit party.
Yeah, he'll keep running, too.
No, he's going to stop so he can steal that bag.
Fastball strike. Mentioned earlier, Luis Arraez had a 30-point lead over Andres Gimenez in terms of batting average in the American League. But that's the 14th three-hit game this year for Amed Rosario, and that's tied for the most with Luis Arraez. And there's a base hit for Jose Ramirez. He'll drive in another run. They've got 2 home in the 9th and lead it 7-2.
Yeah, it looked like a high breaking ball to me.
But you can't have a hit party without this guy.
Well, that's true. That is true. He was able to join the party here. Let's see. It's like maybe a fastball away, and Jose just stayed on it beautifully. So the insurance just keeps on coming.
30 runs batted in for Jose in his last 32 games. Three straight 2-out hits here in the 9th.
And this guy doesn't want to leave Canada without one more.
Close, but just foul down the chalk. Josh Naylor, 5 hits, 3 runs batted in, double, a homer. Been a fun return home to Toronto for him. On the ground, Espinal throws him out, and the inning is over. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. It's now 7-2 Cleveland. Well, Jose Ramirez started out tough. Struck out in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd, struck out in the 5th. Then in the 7th, he walked.
This is another tough one. Came off the bag after he had a stolen.
He's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But he's not done yet.
No. He had one last chance. He got a base hit to drive in a run.
No quitting that dog.
Nope.
Never has been, never will be.
And he smiles, going to say, we got a smile out of him when he walked up.
Not a save situation, but Emmanuel Clase was up, getting loose when it was a save situation, and Tito figures he hadn't pitched in a couple days. Let's get him in there. And why not? You want to wrap this baby up and head home. Up 5, he'll have the 6, 7, and 8 hitters due up for Toronto. Tapia fouls it off. Raimel Tapia 1 out of 3 on the afternoon. Bouncing ball to short. Rosario throws him out, 1 down. Whit Merrifield 1 out of 3 today. You know, we've talked about it plenty over the years. Players getting traded, they are human beings. It's not automatic that they just plug in and take off. Last 14 games, Merrifield's batted 196. Now, some of that was still in Kansas City. As he lifts one in the air to right field, Oscar Gonzalez is there. 2 down.
Matt, I was going to say to you, he just doesn't look normal to me seeing him in a Toronto uniform yet, because we've seen him for so long over in Kansas City.
Yeah, and you know, he was banged up at KC. Remember, his consecutive game streak came to an end when we were there.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's just,
that's not what people think. These guys, it's tough to come into a new environment when you're traded in the middle of the year and you're pretty much like a hired gun. So, you know, when you get at the trading deadline, they expect certain things from you, and it just doesn't work that way.
Santiago Espinal 1 for 3 today. Toronto welcomes in Baltimore for 3 games starting tomorrow, and I think just about every series the rest of the way, every team that's in it's going to say, it's another big series.
Isn't that the truth?
I think they're all big the rest of the way now, aren't they?
Yeah, it reminds me of that great John Madden line when they used to say he couldn't win the big one. He said, let me know when there's a small one.
Right, exactly.
The 1-1. Two-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Book it. And the Guardians come to Toronto and win the series against the Blue Jays, taking 2 out of 3. And they win the season series, winning 5 out of 7 from Toronto. The Guardians will head home now with a record of 61-53 on the year, atop the American League Central Division standings. Shane Bieber, the winner. He goes to 8-6 on the year. Toronto falls to 61-52. Kevin Gausman, the loser, he's now 8-9 on the season. This was an impressive series.
It really was. I mean, it started right from the beginning when you get a well-pitched ball game by Quantrill. Tristan comes in yesterday, pitched a great game, ended up giving up 2 solo home runs, and they couldn't score in that game, and they get beat 2-1, and then finish it off today with another great start by Bieber. And they got the hitting, and they went up against Gausman. They had a really good approach against him today. Did what they had to do, and they're going to win the series. And we'll head home for 2 tomorrow.
Yes, indeed. Time now for Guardians Live post game. Remember, doubleheader tomorrow. We'll have all the action with Guardians Live kicking off our coverage tomorrow at 2:30 in the afternoon. Al Jensen, when we wake up tomorrow, the calendar will say August the 15th. There will be 47 games to go, and the Guardians are sitting in first place. This has the makings of being a lot of fun coming down the stretch.